Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Welcome back. Today we're doing an old-fashioned get ready with me slash, actually this isn't even a get ready with me, this is a Q&A. I have not done a Q&A in God knows how long. I don't even know. I feel like I promised you guys one like after I got married, like after I announced my marriage, and I just like never did one. So I kind of just wanted to get ready with y'all, answer a bunch of like girly chat questions. I was gonna like do this with my makeup already done, but I just feel like I'm gonna be bored. I'm gonna be bored while I do that. So we're just gonna answer all the questions while I do my makeup, but I'm gonna be posting the products that I use down below. I'll link them below, but then also I think YouTube has this like new like shopping feature. I can actually link the products like on the screen. So I have no idea where they're gonna be. They might be like somewhere over here or like right below the description box. So if you're ever wondering like what I'm using, I've been using that new feature now, and I feel like it's cool because you can actually like see what the product is instead of like having to like read through my entire description box. So check that out if you're interested. The brows are already done as always because listen, the brows alone took me like 20 minutes. That would be like half the video. So I can't do that, but I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some girly questions. And I took a bunch of screenshots early this morning, and y'all asked some really, really good questions, some juicy questions, and just some like good girl chat questions. So actually, let's do a little life update first, because I did get some questions about like, just in general, like how is life? Life has been really, really nice lately. I just got back from Toronto last week and I was there for a week. I know I've been in like Toronto a lot lately, but yeah, I just had like the best time. Someone asked that I look stunning. Please share your diet and how did you lose weight? So y'all already know, okay? I have been, I feel like, in a weight loss journey my entire life. My weight has gone up, my weight has gone down. I just feel like over this past year, I have gained the most weight that I ever have in my entire life. It doesn't look that way a lot of the time. My face doesn't gain as much weight, thank God. I feel like it's definitely happy weight. Especially over the last like 2 months, I've really been working at, like my husband and I both actually, we're both kind of like in this like new healthy journey that we're both trying for ourselves because we both gained weight. We was looking snatched when we first met, and now we look like we've been eating too good. We look like we in love, which we are, alhamdulillah. I definitely have seen a significant difference in just how my body looks, how I feel, my strength, all of that. We've been doing F45 lately, which is like a super intensive fitness program, I guess. And we have like an unlimited membership. So we do that like anywhere from like 4 to 5 times a week. And lately we've been making like a conscious effort to just like eat at home and eat super healthy. So we've kind of like cut out and stopped buying like sweets, snacks and stuff. We've literally just like, yesterday we went to Costco. We had to like high five ourselves because we did not walk out of there with any snacks. We just eat like vegetables, fruit, meat. I personally have been just watching my portions as well. And I honestly think that's been really helping. I think I want to do like a whole video on this eventually. I've made a conscious effort to just not talk about it too much because I just feel like, one, I always jinx it, and two, I just feel like so many people have so much to say about my weight, which is just like so uncalled for. Like I just feel like there's some haters out there that just love to talk about women and their weight. So I'm sorry, I'm happy and I've gained weight, but you know, alhamdulillah, we're getting there. Things have been working. I feel good. My clothes are fitting better again. I feel like I'm looking a little bit more snatched. This time around, I have a buddy to like help me through this journey. You know, like my husband, like I said, is on the same journey as me, and we're both kind of supporting each other through it, so it kind of makes it easier. One thing I want to say in reading a lot of these questions is that it makes me really, really happy and definitely very emotional to think that you guys feel such a strong connection to me, that you would ask questions that are super personal about your lives. I just feel like the big sister I always wish I could have been. But someone wrote and they said they're having a tough time in life, but they don't want to speak to friends or family about it. What should they do? This can be really, really hard because, you know, when you're having a tough time, sometimes it doesn't feel very good to like reach out to someone you're super close to, especially when it comes to family. Like sometimes you feel like they will downplay what you're going through. So I am definitely have always been a strong advocate of therapy. I'm really excited to obviously just continue my partnership and thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video, because they are an online professional therapy service that I have personally used and that has really helped my whole like healing journey. And especially when I felt like, not that I couldn't talk to friends, I just personally didn't feel comfortable doing it because of like the embarrassment and the shame of the things that I was going through. And I think that's totally normal. In my personal journey, it's been super beneficial in people that are close to me. You know, obviously it's not super accessible to everyone, especially like if you live in like remote areas. So regardless if you have like a mental health condition, like a clinical mental health condition, or if you are just a human traveling through life, dealing with life things that can be very stressful and just take a toll on your own personal mental health, I think therapy is something everyone should have access to. And BetterHelp is kind of trying to make that their mission, have professional therapy more accessible to people all over the world, and also just more affordable too, because obviously, you know, in-person therapy is so expensive. I like looked into it briefly. So BetterHelp is a platform that makes it super easy to find a therapist that can help you through your needs. It's remote, it's online, and you can access it at any time that is most convenient to you. And all you have to do to get started is just answer a few simple questions through their questionnaire, just so that they can get to know you. Obviously, therapy is super personal, and after you are matched with a professional licensed therapy, and you can start your therapy journey almost immediately. And it's super easy to sign up. I'll have a link down below, but you can go to betterhelp.com/Aysha. It's better HELP.com/Aysha, not Better Health. As well as like supporting this channel, that link will give you 10% off your first month of therapy, so that you can get a little extra coin off your therapy sessions for the first month. And it'll be an amazing introduction into therapy, and I promise like you will not regret that purchase. It was one of the best investments I have personally made. And honestly, therapy is a little bit like dating. Like, you might not get it right the first time, which is totally normal. So if you know, get matched with a therapist and you feel like it's not the right fit for you, you can totally switch with no questions asked. You don't have to deal with like insurance claims and like confusion. You don't have to deal with any of that. You can just switch your therapist and continue on with your sessions. I know for me personally, even to this day, I still think about, you know, the certain life lessons and like the things that I've learned through my therapist, and like being okay with uncertainty, which was a huge one, and learning that I can control my own emotions. I can control, you know, what goes on in my life, how I portray myself and all of that, but what I can't control is what other people do to me, and learning how to deal with that. And there's various different things you can get out of therapy. That's personally one of the biggest life lessons I took out of it, and I just feel like I have become a more whole and like sane person, which I will forever be thankful. So again, click the link in my description, go to betterhelp.com/Aysha to get 10% off your first month, and thank you so much to BetterHelp for continuing to support my channel. Okay, I feel like I have just been applying this blush. It's in the shade Worth by Rare Beauty, but I just feel like it's not really giving. Like, I feel like it looks pretty, but I feel like it's not really doing much for me. So I think I'm just gonna go completely crazy and use a Barbie pink and like see if that helps. This is the shade Lucky. I'm just gonna go in with like one dot on each cheek and see what happens. How can I handle toxic female friends or people that love saying nasty things about us and love mocking us? Honestly, short answer, don't deal with them. Literally exit them out of your life. If it's online, block them. And if it's in person, just like limit your exposure to those people. I don't think that you need to deal or handle with toxic female friendships or toxic females in general, or just people that, you know, constantly make you feel bad about yourself. There's just no need. And now I kind of went crazy with this blush. Serves me right. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it can be really easy to feed into all of that negativity and like try to fight back and like try to be this toxic person back. But I promise you, it'll only hurt you in the end. Your life will just be so much more peaceful and at ease when you just learn how to ignore those people, how to exit them out of your life. Like I said, just like limit your exposure to them. If it's a friend group that's always hanging out and like maybe one of the person is toxic in that friend group or all of them, please do not do a disservice to yourself and like continue to put yourself through activities with that friend group just because you don't want to feel alone. Like, your mental health is so much more worth it. And yeah, that's what I have to say to that. Someone asked, what helped in your healing journey? Book, recs, podcasts, etc. When I was going through my healing journey, I just searched up, especially on like YouTube, I definitely listened to a lot of podcasts, but I just wanted to hear from other people that went through divorce or went through horrible breakups and stuff, because I just wanted to feel less alone. And I mean, one in particular, I think it was like Adeline Morin. Adeline? I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she did like a breakup vlog, like watch me through my healing journey type video. And it was silly, you know, obviously she wasn't going through divorce, but just like seeing someone else, another prominent figure talking about heartbreak and stuff like that, it kind of just made me feel less alone, and I loved watching those types of things. And I feel like it definitely helped. I just feel like, you know, as humans, we're all just like looking for connection, and like if you can't find that in the people around you, I think the internet has become such a wonderful resource for so many reasons, including that, you know? You can learn how to make chicken Alfredo, or you can learn how to get over a breakup. Any podcasts that helped? There were a few, but honestly, I can't really remember. I really can't even remember them. There were some, like, I would just search like divorce and just like listen to any podcast that had to do with that. In terms of like my mental health, as I mentioned earlier, therapy really helped me. I had weekly therapy sessions, and then also the Calm app just like really helped ease my anxiety. I feel like not a lot of people talk about like the physical things that you feel going through a breakup. Like, it really isn't just like a mental thing. It's not just a thing happening to you. It's like a whole body thing. Like, my whole body went through changes, and I had to take like CBD gummies that really helped just like ease my anxiety, obviously without THC in them. And listening to the Calm app really, really helped me. There's one in particular, I don't know if it's still on there, but Harry Styles, he had, I'm not even like a Harry Styles or One Direction fan, but he had like a podcast, if you will, on the Calm app. And just like his voice and what he was saying just like really calmed me down. So I'd listen to that like as I went to bed, for example. And yeah, I guess you can call it meditation in a sense. How did I know that I was ready to get married again? I think I knew just from like how great of a person my husband is now, and how he treated me, and you know, especially I think what solidified it for me was once he met my parents and like how much they loved him. I felt at ease. My heart felt at ease. There was no anxiety around it. It was not a matter of like, should I get married to him? It was more like when. And that happened pretty early on, which is like just so crazy to me. And you know, I thank God every day that like he was brought into my life, and you know, he really, really helped just, I won't say with my healing journey, because I feel like by the time I met him, I was kind of well into my healing journey. It was around a year after the divorce. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people can say what they want about timing of things. I don't think there should be any time, like if it takes someone a month to get over, you know, a person, or 10 years, like, okay, 10 years is pushing it, but like, I don't think there should be a time frame put on something like healing. Like, it really is so personal to everyone, to the situation and everything. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt like I was ready to get married again. And I was also never really the type that was like, I hate marriage and like I don't want to do this anymore, etc. I was never jaded, you know, my past marriage. Like, I really value marriage, and I value like what it could bring into your life. And I think if it's with the right person, it can be such a beautiful like expansion into your life. And that was always my mindset with it. Like, I knew that eventually I would find a right person again for me, and it just came sooner rather than later. So I was super thankful for that, and I wasn't about to just like hold off on getting married because I felt like it was too soon or something like that, which I don't think it was. It was like, it happened more than 2 years after, you know, the breakup, and I feel like for us it was the perfect time. And I met my husband in 2021, so like literally 2 years ago now. That's when we met. Yeah, and then we got married in October of 2022, so about a year and a half-ish later. Someone asked, are you currently looking for a forever home now that you are married? And girl, I've always been looking for a forever home. But I don't think like even whatever house we choose to buy, I don't think that will be our forever home. I think we'll continue to like expand and grow on it because, you know, as our incomes grow and as our families grow and stuff like that, I think we'll always be looking for like the next best thing. So like whatever place that we decide on, inshallah, if we do, I'm not really gonna call it like my forever home, you know? But that being said, in this economy, in this state, in this city, I don't think it's gonna happen soon. Especially with the interest rates. They have more than doubled from when I was first in the housing market. It's actually disgusting. Like I don't want to talk about it actually. It sucks. It really, really sucks. Best advice for girls 16 to 23 in their early careers. I would say please do not rush to grow up. That's what I'm gonna say. This has nothing to do with careers, but I am 28 now and I just feel like 16 to 23, those are your young years. Those are your years to mess up. Those are your years to just like literally just live. Not have to worry about a career, not have to worry about making money. Like obviously, you know, if you have a part-time job, like that's fine, but it's not like you're trying to pay bills to survive majority of the time. You know, if you are blessed, inshallah, you're probably living at home and literally just like enjoy life. Like do not take life too seriously. Do not stress out if you don't get that job. Do not stress out if you don't get, you know, that internship. Just everything will happen when it's supposed to. Do not rush to get married. Like literally just live your life. Just live your life, have fun with your girlfriends, create amazing relationships with people. Like just have fun. Like that's literally the only advice I have to you. If you want like, I guess more sound advice for career-wise, network. Literally just build relationships with people. That's like, I mean, that kind of goes into what I was saying as to just like live your life, but you never really know where a connection will land you, whether that's like personally or professionally. But just make genuine connections, talk to people, ask them about their stories, you know? And I always say closed mouths do not get fed. So if you want an opportunity, ask for it. Literally ask for it. I mean, this isn't like a whole career video, but that's what I'm gonna say on that topic, honestly. Along with that, someone asked how to navigate life post-graduation / how to tell your parents you wanna move out. How to navigate life post-graduation. I feel like I would have loved this advice after graduation, and it's to slow down. Like I said earlier, like you are so young. You do not have to have everything figured out. You do not need to find a man and get married right out of university. These are things that like I thought I had to do. And I wonder like if obviously everything happens for a reason and I do not regret anything in my life and how kind of life has panned out for me, because I think it's all led to this very moment that I'm talking to you guys right now. You know, I think there's definitely this certain pressure like to like get married, and that's when you kind of start your life, you know? Especially after graduation, you're kind of just like, okay, well, what's next? Just take some time off. You know, by the time you graduate, you will have gone through 18 years of school. That's 18 years of classes. Those are years that like, and hours of your life that you will never get back. It is okay to take a break. Like literally from like May to September, do not do anything. Go travel. Do not focus on what career you need to have. Obviously, if you have things lined up, that's fine. But just relax, like literally relax. You have your entire freaking life to work, your entire life until you're 65, inshallah. That's really all I have to say. But in terms of like how to tell your parents you want to move out, that's tough. Like for me, I feel like my parents have always been very trusting of me and like my abilities. But I feel like some people do not have that same level of trust with their parents, and that's kind of why it makes the decision of like moving out super difficult for your parents. But I think just like open communication is always super important. Communicate to them that that's something you want. Build a plan, like how you're gonna afford that life for yourself, because obviously moving out in this economy is expensive. And let them, you know, warm up to the idea. Don't just tell them one day and like the next day you're moving out. You can totally do that. There's definitely been times in my life where I've done similar things, but just like give them some time. Like at the end of the day, you're still their baby, and you know, you might think 22, 23 is old, but to them, you're still that little girl. You're still that little girl that like, you know, depends on the family and all that. So just have them understand your reasoning, clear that open communication, and inshallah make a lot of dua on it. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. And if it doesn't, like, sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes you don't have to move out. Hopefully that was good advice. On that note, someone asked, is the move out of Toronto a worth it step for a growing female? For me personally, I think it has been probably the best thing I've ever done. Just for my career and just for my own personal growth as well. I think I've obviously learned a lot since moving out of Toronto, and I love Toronto, and now going back to it, I have such a fresh perspective on it and love for it. But I don't think it's always necessary. However, I do also feel like even though Toronto's like a big city, I feel like sometimes staying in the city that you grew up in keeps you in this like small town mindset, and people kind of get like stuck in that rut. And I feel like experiencing life, whether it's like moving out of the city or maybe just like doing a study abroad or just broadening your horizons in some way, shape, or form, really just like will round you out as a person. So maybe think about that before thinking about like completely moving away from Toronto. I think Toronto's an amazing city, has amazing opportunities, but for me personally, leaving it has really just helped the trajectory of my career and just my life in general and my growth. What's your advice for someone who is scared about being married? I mean, scared is like a harsh word, I feel like, but I get it. But I also feel like when you meet the right person, like marriage will never sound scary to you. Like it'll be super exciting. It's like you get to build your life with this person that you feel so strongly about and that you love and that you see being, you know, your spouse and the father of your children. I feel like it can be a very exciting thing. I think, you know, being someone who went through divorce, there's always that like looming fear of like, well, what if it doesn't work out? And honestly, to that I say, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know? Like, that is not when life ends. If anything, that's a new beginning, you know? So don't be scared of the unknown. That's something I had to work through in therapy. It's like I was the type of person that needed to control everything. I needed to control my environment, where I was going, what I was doing, like how someone else was doing things. Like I just felt like I was so controlling, and you can't be a controlling person, you know? You just can't, especially when it comes to marriage. Like, you can't control everything that's gonna happen within that marriage. So I think being scared is normal, but I also feel like once you meet the right person, like those same feelings won't be there. But I guess like advice to that is like, what are the reasons you're scared? Like once you define what those reasons are, it might be something deeper. Like, are you scared of the commitment to someone? If that's the case, maybe there's some work that you have to do in yourself first. Are you scared of like opening yourself up to someone? Maybe that's something else you can work on. Maybe opening up to the people around you a little bit more, so that when that right person comes into your life and is, you know, introduced to you, you're not going to be as closed off from the idea of him. Tips for moving in with your husband for the first time. Compromise, girl. Compromise, compromise, compromise. That is my #1 tip, because Lord, I had to do a lot of compromising. When I went from like single girl, independent, like super hyper independent girl to like, okay, now this whole man is moving in. There was a lot of adjustments. And I honestly feel like even if we moved into a place to get, like we got a whole separate place and then moved into that, I feel like I would even have a harder time with that. At least here I was in my safe space and like my home. So him coming into that, it made me feel a little bit more comfortable about the whole thing. But tips is just get ready to compromise. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, like at all. I'm not complaining or anything. I absolutely love the life that like we live now, alhamdulillah. But you know, there's definitely times where I'm just like, I don't want to let that go. I don't like how that looks, but like he does. And it's like, you just have to have compromise. The only thing I'm not compromising on is closet space though. So that was a little difficult. Also, side note, I call him Yassine, but his name is also Kevin. Kevin, Yassine, they're kind of interchangeable, but he likes to be referred as Yassine, especially after converting to Islam. So that's what I just call him publicly. But depending on like who I'm talking to, I might say Kevin, I might say Yassine, but to y'all know him as Yassine, okay? Anyways, Yassine has made it really easy. Honestly, has made it really easy to like move in with. But oh, what I was saying, he's a fashion boy. So he has just as much clothes as I do. So we both had to do a lot of decluttering, and we compromised by him getting the bedroom closet, which is much smaller, much smaller, bless his soul. And I got the office closets. Okay, this is a juicy little personal, intimate question. But someone also said, do you have advice? I'm guessing this girl is getting married soon. She has like a lot of questions that have to do with that. But she said, do you have advice for 2023, 2024 brides on choosing the right birth control? Let's get into it, because birth control is a topic that obviously is very personal, but I feel like it's important to like talk about. So I personally, and this is how I've always felt, I never felt comfortable going on any type of birth control that harms my, or like alters my hormones. So that's the pill, the IUD, the like anything. I know there's some IUDs that like don't interfere with your hormones, but just the whole process of that, like it just, sticking anything into my body or doing anything to my body to like change the way it naturally is supposed to go just like scares me. And one of my biggest fears has always been just infertility, and like anything that would prevent me from like having a child just like terrifies me. So like even if there's a small chance that like birth control pills and stuff like that don't, this is just a personal decision. I was just like, that's a hard no for me. So without getting too in detail, I heavily rely on my Flow app, and yeah, I mean, I have a pretty, alhamdulillah, I've had a very regular period my entire life, and it pretty much comes on like the exact day every single time. I can feel when I'm ovulating and stuff like that. So obviously we just make smart decisions around those times and pray for the rest of the times. Let's just say that. But I think birth control can be very personal to everyone. It's a personal decision. So I think like speaking to your doctor and seeing what is best suited to you is the best thing that you can do. But that's just what I personally do. And you know, we haven't had any accidents yet. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that topic. Side note, this new mascara by Huda Beauty is so fire. I wore it the other day and everyone thought I was wearing falsies, so love that for me. This is such like a backhanded compliment, or not compliment, like comment, but maybe she meant well, I don't know. How to embrace a curvy body compared to a fitter spouse. I mentioned literally the first question that like both my husband and I are on this like fitness journey together, but it never did cross my mind about like, oh, like I'm curvy and he's fit. Like, I don't, it's just, he likes it. So I embrace it. But I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, like I'm healthy, all my vitals are, you know, A1, alhamdulillah. And that's like the most important thing, you know, and the fact that I can walk, I can do exercises, all that. While I may not be conventionally fit or attractive, have an attractive body type to certain people, I don't know, I feel good, I feel hot, I feel voluptuous and womanly, and I think that's all that matters, you know? How you feel about yourself is all that matters. So many questions about body acceptance and body like just positivity. Another person said, how are you accepting your body and loving it? And yeah, that's it. Like I buy things that like make me feel more confident about my body. I am very particular in the styles that I wear, what flatters my body and what doesn't. Yeah, and I also fuel my body with things that are good for it. I work out regularly, I feel good about it, and I know eventually, you know, everything will start to balance out how it's supposed to. But like I said, I am enjoying life. Okay, I don't even know why I'm like putting on so much makeup and mascara right now, because I'm literally about to take it off because my workout is in like an hour. This is such a sweet question. Someone asked, what do you love the most about the Aysha you are right now? I think what I love the most about who I am right now is like how sure of myself that I am, and how sure of my abilities and capabilities I am. Like I'm just so freaking proud of like everything I've been able to overcome in my life, how I've been able to grow my businesses, and how I show up for people, the type of friends that I've made, like everything in my life right now I'm just so content with. And I think especially like I have been making a conscious decision to just like enjoy life and enjoy the moments that I'm in right now without feeling guilty. And that's like traveling, you know, if I'm hanging out with friends every night of the week, like just doing things that like I feel good about, you know? That's such a pretty lip color. It's like sparkly. Oh, and it smells like cream soda. Oh my god. Laura Lee, Los Angeles. All right, my makeup is done. I'm gonna answer. Can't believe I'm gonna have to take this off. Welcome home. I'm filming a YouTube video. Someone asked, how do you get space to spend time on your own? And this is, I think, really, really important in a relationship. Especially in a marriage. It's so important to like not get lost in your marriage and not get lost in just like the two of you, and still be your own two separate people, because when you think about it, at the end of the day, like that is the person that you fell in love with. It's like the person that was their individual until you guys both loved each other so much that you combined your lives. And I think once you combine your lives, it's still important to upkeep those relationships that are super separate. So whether that's your friendships or your travel plans or what you just love to do, like any activities, you know, with Yassine and I, like our lives are so intertwined, and we work out together and we cook together and we take our walks together and all of that, and like sometimes we can get sick of each other. It's totally normal. So, you know, me being able to travel for a week and going to Toronto and spending time with my family while he stays here, like different things like that, I think just like allows you to spend time with yourself and just like continue to be that person that your partner fell in love with. So that's kind of how we do it. I definitely like encourage him to go hang out with his friends or do his workout activities or whatever else he wants to do on his own. And yeah, that's kind of how I think is the best way to balance spending time with yourself. Some questions about babies. I have to say, I'm very proud of y'all for not like asking too many questions about babies. I think I only got like 2 or something, which I'm like very surprised about, but we're both kind of in this stage where we want to be very selfish with ourselves and our time, both in our marriage and just separately as well. We have businesses that we want to launch and we have travel plans that we want to go on, and like, you know, inshallah, if we're able to hold off, as you know, as long as it's needed to get those things going, then that's kind of what we want to do. So we're both 28, and yeah, we just kind of want to, well, technically he's 27. I'm a couple months older than him. But yeah, we kind of just want to like chill a little bit. Like maybe once we're into our 30s, we can like discuss it a little bit more. But I used to be that person that was like, I want a child by 25. Like I probably have a YouTube video on here that says that, which is just so wild. Like I could not imagine myself, Aysha, at 28 with a 3-year-old right now. Like that sounds absurd, and I'm just thankful that that didn't happen. Obviously, everything's a blessing. If it comes before that, we will welcome it with open arms, and we'll be excited about that. But inshallah, we just want to experience life together a little bit more before we think about having children. So you guys are so sweet. There's just some like sweet comments in here. Someone's like, what is it like being an OG YouTube baddie who's prospering and scandal free? Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. I saw someone that was like, you can tell who's a millennial from like doing this versus like, I don't even know how to do that shit properly. It's like oh, like this. No, hold on, I always struggle with this. I can't. Are y'all double jointed or something? Like how the hell do y'all be doing this? That hurts. Okay, so someone said, you guys have had your nikah, so have you started planning the civil ceremony yet? So yes, if you guys don't know, we are Islamically married, but we haven't done our civil ceremony. So yeah, we definitely want to do that. Definitely not this year, but inshallah next year. We are like in the early stages of thinking about wedding planning, if we are still deciding to do a wedding. I think I'm like more on the side of like I want one now than like not. In the beginning I was very much like I don't want one, I don't want to be bothered, but the more that I think about it and the more that I just feel like it's such a beautiful time to bring both families together and witness both our cultures together and just like have our families interact. So I think it'd be a really beautiful celebration. So inshallah sometime in 2024, and of course I will let you guys know once things start developing. I'll end off with this. Someone said female hygiene recommendations. I sweat profusely and it's embarrassing. Part 2, especially keeping the kitty fresh. So female hygiene, I think I'm not someone who struggles with like sweating a lot or like BO and stuff like that, thankfully. But I think just in general, like making sure you're taking your showers and exfoliating. I really, really recommend these exfoliating gloves. EcoTools makes them, or you can make them, you can probably get them on Amazon too. And really just like exfoliating your skin. I love using body oils and lotions and then finishing it off with a body mist just to like smell nice and fresh. In terms of keeping down there nice and fresh, you know, my maintenance routine, just to let you guys know, like I don't shave down there, but I do get waxes every so often. And then I also will sometimes, I don't do this all the time, but what's the brand? Honey Pot? Oh yes, Honey Pot. So they make like a foamy wash that you can use down there, not to go inside. It's not like a douche or anything, but it just kind of like keeps everything clean and pH balanced, because you don't want to use your soaps down there, like your regular soaps. You want to use something that is unscented, is pH balancing and all of that. So I'll just use that now and then. I haven't used it in a while, but they are super helpful as well. And yeah, obviously just making sure you're using water when you use the bathroom, not just tissue paper, and then swiping the opposite way so you don't get the poo-poo up in the pee-pee area. You feel me? Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know what other types of videos you guys want to see, because obviously there were hundreds of questions. I could not get through all of them, but hopefully this video was interesting to you guys. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring a portion of today's video and supporting the channel, and thank you to you guys for always supporting my channel. I'm gonna list all of the products that I use in this video through the YouTube shopping, like just like down here I believe, or somewhere in the like at the top of the description. You'll see all the products that I use, so you can click that and shop them if you would like. And I think that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and let me know what other videos you would like to see from me. Mwah. Bye.